Yeah, yeah. States of delusion. The states of delusion. Let's get right into it. This is all about medical manipulation. Now, this first video we're gonna watch, she gonna go ahead and explain how she finally realized what she had done got herself into. Let's do it.
The closer and closer I get to graduation, and the closer I am to obtaining my nurse practitioner license, the more I realize conventional medicine is a scam.
Hold on, let me stop. My bad.
And I'm just going to say it. It's a complete scam because the healthcare system was built not to care for the ailing and the sick. It was built to make money and to be a big business for others to profit from, and not really to care for those who actually need it. And the further I do more research and I do more studying, I'm completely over conventional medicine as it is, but I have to do this necessary part in order to get my license to practice as a nurse practitioner. But the more I realize going into integrative and functional medicine just sits so much better in my soul, because conventional medicine is really a scam.
All right. This where we heading. Conventional medicine. I mean, it's a lot of people who don't know that though, man. It's a lot of people who don't know that it's a scam. So give us your initials, brother.
Brother Aeon of Light here. You already defeated me, so I can't say what I was gonna say. When you said there's a lot of people who don't know, and how you defeated me already is, I was gonna say. Well, I'll say it like this: if you're someone who does know, but you still take that job, I have so many questions for you. If you know that the medical industry is a scam, but you still take that job, and your reasons are because I got to pay bills, support my family, why? You know, that's my question. And she ain't wrong. The medical industry is a scam. And you're not wrong, where there are a lot of people who they come into this world not knowing that the medical industry is a scam, and they get those jobs and they find out later.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just talking about for those who they know, you know, they grew up their life knowing because maybe their parents taught them or their teachers taught them, but they still get into that field because they say they got to pay their bills or you know, support the family or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, really?
And look, this is what I was telling you earlier off camera, right? A lot of people selling their souls without being in the quote unquote the elite status.
And she said something about soul in the video, you know, something about like, you know, it makes her soul feel better. But wait, did she? And you made a point here. Did she have to sell her soul first and then make it better after she found out? I mean,
I ain't gonna say. I'm gonna let this video play.
Yeah, I'm gonna let her say it.
Yeah, here we go.
The closer and closer I get to graduation, and the closer I am to obtaining my nurse practitioner license, the more I realize conventional medicine is a scam.
Now, let me stop right here and let's start this show off. Up to right now, is she already in a delusion? Because you ain't got this far down the road and just found this out with the education. Then again, it's a lot of people who really have trust in this healthcare system. It's a lot of Americans. If we just talking in America, even though we could go abroad, it's a lot of people who stuck in this healthcare system as the only way. So it's got to work. It might not work for all, but it's going to work for some. And some people mindset, they don't see this, because I know doctors that still don't understand what I knew without ever having to go to college to find out. You see what I'm saying? So up to right now, at least she's coming into her own. But what you got?
And I'm going to tie two things together. You said something about selling your soul. She said graduation. And what I'm tying here together is she sold her soul at first. What'd she graduate from? And there's that whole realm of graduation, where you graduate from to get your certain degrees. So, and I know they're medical degrees, but still. And she came with the premise of, I'm going to be practicing.
But guess what? When you graduate in the medical field, you got to sign the Hippocratic Oath.
That's
okay. And
glad you said that.
And then when you going to school to be a nurse or doctor, you going for the money. You might be actually on your way to trying to create a change in the people that you're going to be working for, right? That's a great possibility. A lot of people go into nursing because somebody that they love died ill or things like that, and they decided, I'm going to go into nursing or doctoring, and I'm going to be the change.
Now,
but the thing is, you can't become that change with their education. But you can learn a lot by knowing what don't work too. But go ahead.
Now, speaking of change, if you prescribing a bunch of, let's say, medical narcotics to people, would that be change?
It ain't, and that's what I was saying. Even if you left the house on your way to school to become a doctor, the system is designed to teach you conventional methods. We did a show on this.
Conventional medicine.
Conventional medicine, thank you. But we did a show, and that's why I was saying about RFK, remember that one?
Yes, sir.
On the RFK, and I said, hey, man, at least he's saying doctors should learn nutrition.
Right.
We did a whole back and forth on that.
And they should.
And she just finding out, she might have been waiting to learn nutrition in this program, far as we know. You know what I'm saying? She might have been expecting to learn it, and then come to find out she don't get it.
Well, they're learning nutrition, but not the nutrition we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They're learning the nutrition of drugs.
Yeah.
Because the medical industry would call that nutrition.
Yeah.
Under their guidelines.
Maybe now listen, when you're dealing with the medical, you gotta think about how do I say it? Associations. Like different organs association, maybe your lung association, your heart association, right? So this is where this research is manifested or collected or studied, these clinical trials to prove these poisons wrong. They can sell them without the FDA's approval, and years later, the FDA might come back and say, it was too many people going out on this. Let's go ahead and find out if this is even fair to serve the public.
And I'm glad you brought back RFK, because how can you, in the medical industry, RFK wants the nutrition part brought in. He wants doctors to be able to give people nutritional facts and stuff like that. But basically, how can a doctor do that if he's prescribing medical narcotics? How can the doctor do that if they don't follow nutrition themselves at home?
But see, let me show you what I'm trying to get to, right?
Like what? Hold on. like what I'm explaining here is like yourself. You can give nutritional advice, but see, you practice what you preach. So how can a doctor give nutritional advice if he's not practicing at home what he preaches?
And this the whole thing. It ain't even the doctor's fault on the front end. On the back end is once he learn what he doing and he still do it for the money, then that's when we can go into the realm, are you selling your soul? But on the front end, this is structured, man. This is a medical takeover by the Rockefeller Company a long time ago. So this is the way medicine is practiced, because this is the way medicine is trained and taught to the doctors.
And I'm glad this woman came to her senses, because as of right now, as we're speaking,
Have she came to him?
a little bit. She said some things that are like, okay, well, I can see that there's something wrong with the medical system. And see, she's a part of what's happening now. There's a bunch of nurses that are leaving. There's a shortage.
Well, you know what? Another reason why it's a big bunch of nurses, because nowadays not making that a professional degree.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that's going on too. But
And
go ahead.
and also the reason why, another reason is because they're about to replace the nurses with an AI nurse. So there's the two reasons: the reason he gave and the reason I gave. But I'm happy when I see someone in the medical industry that is starting to understand. I'm saying starting. They're not there yet fully, but they're starting to understand. They see the underlying basis that, hey, these drugs that I'm giving them ain't right. My patients are coming out with other symptoms, and I keep giving them other drugs. And sooner or later, they will come to realization, hey, I need to find other alternatives that are not part of the medical industry.
Well, guess what? Now we can keep traveling this road. Is it the consumer's fault for going to the doctor?
We can say that.
Or is it the doctor's fault for coming to work?
I say a little bit of both.
So really, what you really got to see is the puppet master. The man or the people
who's
the
working
system,
both,
who created the environment for this to even exist. That's what I'm getting to.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Who's working both sides? You know,
it's who control it all.
That's what I'm saying.
It ain't both sides.
The master,
it's one master.
No, I said who's working both sides. Meaning
I got you. You saying who's working both sides?
The master at work.
Okay, I got you.
You know, and that's the bigger picture. But on the smaller picture, you have the patient who's at fault, and you have her who's at fault
But now I did say, is it the patient's fault? But why would it be a patient's fault? If you got to go to medical school to learn how to take care of yourself, and everybody don't go to medical school, a lot of people not looking to go to medical school, a lot of people can't afford to go to medical school, a lot of people ain't so-called educated enough mentally to go to medical school, how could it be the patient's fault?
Well, I'm going to say it like this.
You got to blame the same system.
Yeah, and I'm going to say it like this, too, because you got me in that RFK show when you asked me, do I eat fast food? First of all, I'm going to say this. Yes, I do eat fast food. You know why? Because when I cook at home, I cook my food fast. Fast food. And the other, but I'm going to preface this. I'm going to re-say it. Do I eat junk food? What is considered junk food? Like, you know, your hamburgers laced with all that stuff. See, what I'm getting at is it is the patient's fault because they do eat junk food and then they go to the hospital and they take these pills. That's what I'm getting at.
Who providing the junk, though?
And
if you don't got, this is what I'm saying, bro.
And also, hold on, I'm not finished. And the people who providing junk food, you know, your big corporations, that whole system, they're at fault. They're at fault. They provide the junk food, then you have the patient that eats it, then they go to the hospital. So it's a one big system. It's all tied together.
I thought I was about to ding you up in this ring right quick, but you worked your way out of that one. I was on your bar. Let me stop. Let me go.
And I'm just gonna say it. It's a complete scam. Because the healthcare system was built not to care for the ailing and the sick. It was built to make money.
There go your Hippocratic oath right there. Because guess what? You went to be this cheap. I ain't saying her in a specific form, but a lot of people go to school for the money too, right?
Follow the money.
Right? So, and now you gonna go ahead and do this Hippocratic oath. Follow conventional education on medicine, because you're really going to school for medicine. You're not going for health, right? And let me give you why. And this is why I tell this to anybody that's out there that's sick or considered a titled sick, diagnosed as sick. The sickness is consciousness. It's the lack of consciousness. The more conscious you become of self, the more you will protect yourself, because health is wealth. All right. So the consciousness is what you this for people who are already deep involved in doctor's visits and side effects and 100 different polypharmaceutical drugs they taking and things like that. A lot of people like that, they just feel like they've too far gone and they take the other options as the scary thing. You see what I'm saying? So I think if you lose your consciousness, the body gonna suffer.
Health is wealth, but the bigger picture is health is all you got, and consciousness is all you got, and you don't want to ruin that.
Yeah.
I mean, and also I want to preface this. Yes, they going for the money, but even the ones that aren't, they don't practice for the money. They practice solely just for the drugs and all that. The ones who don't care about making money. I mean, there's a lot of medical misinformation out there. And also because a lot of people, they may take this video we made and they may say, well, you know, I go to the health food store. I go to this Whole Foods doctor or whatever. There's a lot of them who are medical misinformation because they tell you to eat foods that are the wrong foods.
But see, this is the thing you got to catch up to. The whole verbiage medical. That's science, man. This is health. This is life.
Yeah.
Right? It's not medical. See, that word alone will leave you
That's what I'm saying. There's
balance.
There's a difference between medical, life, and health. There are three different words with three.
And guess what field they in? The health field. But I want you to listen to some more of this right here. And you're gonna see how doctors and nurses who seem to be taking a stand and saying the conventional way is bad. They all going into this. Let me let her say it.
And hold on.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say at the end of this video, I want you guys to notice that she almost slips and starts crying when she says at the end it's a fraud. So it's like she's kind of like.
We'll see that in a minute.
Yeah.
And to be a big business for others to profit from, and not really to care for those who actually need it.
Okay, let me just make a quick point right here. See, so she may have honestly been going to help people. She just said it out of her own mouth in so many words, man. Right here. Right out the profit from. Watch this.
And not really to care for those who actually need it. And the further I do more research and I do more studying, I'm completely over conventional medicine as it is, but I have to do this necessary part in order to get my license to practice as a nurse practitioner. But the more I realize going into integrative and functional medicine,
that's what I was about to try to bring up to you. A lot of them using this new wordplay, functional medicine. But guess what?
What function does it serve?
Guess what, though? They ain't talking about herbs. So this will cover up. When you think about, look it up, functional medicine. How is functional medicine? Where is it learned, studied, and what is it? Let us find out right quick, y'all. Give them a second. Let my partner find that out. I think this a hidden, this a wolf in sheep clothing, man. This a wolf in sheep clothing, because they make it sound like, well, we're going to go to the root cause. And then how do you address the root cause? Probably with more medicine. Bam. I promise you I know I'm on one tonight. I want y'all to love your consciousness enough to try the natural way.
Functional medicine works by taking a holistic systems biology approach to uncover the deep underlying causes of chronic illness.
Okay. Now, deep dive with this question in mind. What kind of holistic approach? Because that's still wolves in sheep clothing. Now, you mean you're going to go to a doctor who's studied in medicine, who is licensed in medicine, and now all of a sudden they finna start talking about the dandelion root? I doubt it. You see what I'm saying?
They don't do that at all.
That's what I'm saying. So deep dive with them.
Okay. Well, it says how it works, the process, deep dive history, systems-based view, advanced testing. Standard labs are used, but specialized tests are common, including gut microbiome, hormone panels, toxicology, nutritional status, and then number 4 is root cause identification. Data from history tests reveal why you have symptoms, e.g. poor gut health leading to fatigue. And then number 5, personal plan. Treatment is unique and focused on improving function with nutrition, lifestyle, supplements, and medications.
That's what I was
That's
saying.
a mouthful.
What was your last word? Medications. See, that's why
And
I
it
said
says-
that's a wolf in sheep clothing.
And it says for medications, prescribed only if necessary by licensed practitioners. What is she talking about? Getting a license.
That's what I'm telling you. So what I'm saying, and
You were on point.
that's what I mean. When you hear these words, you got to question them, man.
Oh, and here's how they keep you in the system. Ongoing support. Follow-up visits, track progress, and adjust plans as your body heals. Right?
I ain't tripping on you. I'm not laughing at you on that.
Oh.
I'm laughing at the fact that
Yeah.
you still got to make these visits.
And
Why you can't teach them how to do it for themselves?
And here's to answer your second part of the question. Key differences from conventional medicine. Focus. Functional medicine seeks to restore function by addressing root causes, while conventional medicine often suppresses systems with targeted treatments, says the American Osteopathic Association. And the last part, approach. It's personalized, holistic, and addresses genetics, environment, and lifestyle, not just a disease label.
And guess what? After you done work as in the conventional medicine part of it, and then you decide you're going to switch it up under the same roof, now you're going to try to repair the damage that you gave when you was in your conventional mode.
And you know what? I'm not going to direct at her, but I'm going to direct at just the system. You know, the system is designed to work in such a way that anything outside of their system is quackery. Or they say, oh, it's that guy up in the mountains, you know, the shaman. And it's like, what's wrong with that? Those are the original doctors of the planet who give you the original medicines from Earth, not in a lab.
There you go.
And what we have here is we have people who they're like, look, I get it. I gotta pay bills. I gotta support my family. I gotta get a paycheck. So I'm gonna get me a job here. It pays well, this and that, or maybe it doesn't pay well these times. But why does it have to be that? Why can't you create your own business and be your own doctor and learn from, you know, other sources like nature and find, and then you can make money that way. But nope. The system got you. The puppet masters got you and be like, nope, this is
It
the
ain't
way.
always just the puppet master got you too.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
Because some people don't go in, understand. See, the puppet master ain't in just one arena.
Yeah. They're in all arenas.
You know what I'm saying? And guess what the puppet master look like? The Wizard of Oz. He that big. He that big, but his mirror just make him look bigger. So if she coming out of it, why not just leave the whole medical field and go into a herbalist or holistic approach where you can actually use what the earth resources, because you not going to no conventional doctor and getting no elderberry. That ain't gonna happen.
Because
not a conventional doctor, but a functional doctor. I don't see that happening yet.
I bet you she got the treatment of when she was in school. Oh, they don't make that much money being an herbalist. I bet you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she,
They brainwashed her.
No, it ain't brainwashing, because a lot of herbalists don't survive long term. It could be fear tactics too.
That's what I'm saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Brainwashing, fear tactics, all the goodies in the bag just to keep you in their system, you know? Yeah, and you say they don't survive long? I mean, a lot of doctors
I ain't
don't.
heard her say nothing about her soul, though. You said something about that earlier. I ain't heard her say nothing about her soul.
Yeah, she said it made her soul happy that she finally realized that this is a scam. Somewhere.
All right, let me start right here.
As a nurse practitioner, but the more I realize going into integrative and functional medicine just sits so much better in my soul, because conventional medicine.
So you was right there. I give you that.
So that means, so to me, she's at the beginning of stages of finding out, you know, hey, it's a scam. And then maybe she might later on be like, what can I do about it? And
Well,
that's how
she's saying that she got to go ahead and finish the course she on just to get her the licenses.
But after she's done, I mean, she's free of the school. So, I mean, what's she going to do? She might choose a path. Hey, should I continue on the system or should I find an alternative?
I don't think once you get that deep in, I don't think you ever finish school because you're going to have to keep going back and being retrained. Think about it. They still doing research on diabetes. They still doing research on cancer. They still doing research on high blood pressure. Now, just imagine how long people done dealt with these situations and they still doing research. So if you're doing research, that's another proof that they don't know what they're doing with you.
They just making money off of it.
And she said that.
And they're killing a lot of people. Like,
well, we're gonna allege. We ain't gonna agree.
I mean,
with that.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
Nah, this alleged, bro.
Yeah, I allege. But the other and the other thing is like they have even those the magnets that you put on your car, breast cancer awareness. So and they have.
I wish I could find that video we found about that breast cancer lady. Oh man, the one they were doing a fundraiser with it.
Because I
wish I could find it.
Because I just want to say this real quick. I went to one because I'm not gonna say any names. Family members who they done with the medical industry. They've been in it. They're retired, but like
hold on, they retired at the end.
They just retired a few days ago.
How long did they do it?
Ooh, their whole life. They went to school. They went to a university. They went to the medical school, and they were steeped into it. And you couldn't tell them otherwise. They
when they retired, they woke up.
No, they're still not woke.
Okay, all right.
So I've been dealing with some of this, and stuff like that. And so from personal experience, you can't tell these people anything once they're that deep in it. Like you said, once they're that deep in it, they ain't finished. And so
if you worked until you retired from it, it's too late to wake up because you done left a trail of damage.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And what I was told, because we're on the subject of the medical, is that they had like 30 patients in the morning and a bunch more later, and they would prescribe them drug after drug for all the systems.
We're going to get into the paper, the pill mills in here in a second, but let me let her close out, man.
It's really a scam.
And see, again, I ain't beating up on this sister. I'm beating up on everybody knowing you doing a day's work of dirty deeds. If you doing a day's work that's full of dirty deeds to feed yourself, you part of the problem.
You said to me one day, because I had asked you a question, and you said, why would I hurt people to make money?
Yeah, right. I mean,
and you saying the same thing now.
There's a lot of people that do that, man.
And you saying the same thing right now. Why would I hurt people to make money?
That's right. I mean, what sense would it make to hurt people?
Yeah.
But this is an evil place for a lot of people, man. This thing called.
If you greedy, maybe that's your purpose. If you greedy, there's some greedy people in the industry.
Yeah, well, see, the greed comes from deceptions of luxury, the lure in. See, we did a show about this, or was that me and my uncle? I think it was me and Uncle Roger. Black consumerism, and it wasn't. And I'm not saying just black.
I think
people.
we did it.
We did it on the consumerism,
but I think you
revolution over consumerism.
I think it was that one.
Okay, I know, but the point I'm getting to is, and we're gonna have to talk about this.
And you said luxury. You know what? When you go to a doctor's office, what type of magazines you see? Yachts, golf.
Yeah.
You said luxury.
Yeah, and you see a lot of associated partnerships have their brochures out there too, telling you to eat things that's gonna go against your heart health. Think about this, man. Think about this. And I know y'all probably done paid this attention, but think about this. You ever been in a hospital? What's on every floor of a hospital?
I haven't.
On every floor in American hospitals.
I haven't been in one in years.
Vending machines. And guess what's in vending machines? Sodas and honey buns.
But
Now imagine it now.
but
Hold on.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to hit that again, but imagine it. At the hospital where they treating you for high blood pressure and diabetes, they sell you the stuff to get it while you're there. Go ahead.
and I can do you one even better. Now I just remembered a hospital visit that I was at with my aunts and uncles and cousins. What else is at a hospital? They have a cafeteria, right? Where the not the patients, but the family of the patients, they can go eat. What do they serve at that cafeteria? Hamburgers, French fries, pizza, stuff like that. And some of that you can bring up to the patient.
Yeah.
So
And
you're right.
Yeah, I know. And look, and this is the thing though. It's gonna come down to your consciousness.
That's right.
All right. So if you go into that hospital thinking that it's just automatically gonna help you, it's like somebody going to church thinking it's automatically gonna turn their life around.
Now wait a minute. It's not only the hospital, because for those of you who you have medical situations, but you do it at home, what's in your refrigerator? What's in your pantry? Same thing.
Yeah.
If you got it.
Right.
So
And
it ain't no different.
It all comes
The
from
the building doesn't matter.
it's all consciousness.
That's
man.
right.
All right. Let us proceed with a little more reckless damage.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight at 11. I'm Chelsea Helms.
And I'm Bob Donaldson. The suspects charged include nurses, home health aides, and even a pharmacist. CBS 4's Max Lewis breaks down what we know from the court filings.
Today, the Department of Justice, along with states' attorneys general, announcing charges against dozens of healthcare workers as part of a massive healthcare fraud crackdown. The cases ranging from fraudulent Medicaid billing to pill mills, fueling the nation's struggle with opioid addiction.
This is not healthcare. It is a staggering breach of trust.
One of the people.
All right, we're gonna stop and start again and again, y'all. But so far, I'm going like this right here. He's saying this is a breach of trust, and they arrested a lot of people, caught them in the fraud. But I think this should have been caught a long time ago, over 100 years ago. So the medical buildup, the medical waste, the trails of medical misinformation, medical misdiagnosis, that's huge too. Being misdiagnosed, okay? So, and that's that. Sometimes you might be misdiagnosed just to sell more of a certain prescription, for example, right?
Yeah.
You could be misdiagnosed. You don't get to spend real time with your doctor, right? A lot of people get this comfortable. Oh, my doctor's cool. My doctor's this. He's that. He's white. He's black. He's a Christian. He's this. Whatever that relationship make
Whatever
you feel,
floats their boat.
yeah, no, whatever make you feel more comfortable, like you dealing with somebody who really standing in front of you just to help you. See, that delusion to have you thinking just because your doctor is respectful and speaks appropriately that it's in your favor. And see, the side effect of dealing with a system that's got a lot of people where they not even woke up at all, you gonna get almost slaughtered in a situation like that. But go ahead.
Two things here. Whenever the government speaks, I don't trust it, because the same system that created it is going to be the same system that fixes it. Come on.
Yeah.
You really think so?
Yeah.
I mean, really? The same people that got elected are the same people that could have worked for the medical industry and now they're working for the government, or vice versa.
A lot of times they do both.
Or both. I was just getting to that. They, one or the other or both. And then the other thing is, you are your own doctor. You are the best doctor yourself.
You should be.
You should be. And it used to be like that a long, long time ago.
But a long, long time ago, people didn't have so many options, right? And at once upon a time, real food was plentiful.
Well, and
right?
once upon a time, there was an industrial revolution where we had a bunch of chemical-based medicines. We had medicines from the earth provided by us, by God, put here. And so a doctor, he can't prescribe you anything because first of all, he's not you. He's not your body. He's not your soul. He's not your consciousness. You know yourself best. You should know yourself best. If you don't, I mean,
what I told you at the beginning of the show, a lot of people don't know that, man.
yeah, and they don't, and that is a sad thing, you know. But I would say that there are people who are rising up to the occasion to know themselves. You know, they're starting to, you know, like that woman. She's beginning to, but like your doctor. They're prescribing you things based off of what a test says, what a machine says, a computer, which it could be false.
Yeah, because you are, and listen.
What they call it, false positives?
False positives, false negatives.
Yep.
All right, so there could be your demise.
And clinical
right
trials that are all false.
And what clinical trials is paid for by the people that wanted to pass through. But the old saying goes is, if the FDA approved it, don't use it. We're in that piece right there, but let me keep rolling, man.
People federally indicted is a pharmacist from Noblesville, who the feds say was part of a pill mill operating in Houston, Texas. According to the indictment, she, along with others, purchased 500,000 pills of oxycodone and hydrocodone and then sold them to drug dealers.
Now listen at that. The streets is joining the medical field. The medical field taking it to the streets. Ain't that amazing, y'all? Don't this give you more reason to trust your medical situation?
Hydrocodone and then sold them to drug dealers.
Let me find
Prosecutor
out who he said.
Part of a pill mill operating in Houston, Texas.
This is not healthcare. It is a staggering breach of trust.
One of the people federally indicted is a pharmacist from Noblesville, who
A pharmacist bought it legally that much, I guess, to keep it on stock, and then he just sold it to the streets. Now, see, this delusion gonna have us. I'm not trying to make y'all afraid to keep going, taking your visits. I'm just trying to help you raise your consciousness to where you start to actually pay attention to the plain sight delusion
And start asking questions. And also, I want to add here. Here's a big delusion, okay? So, there's a lot of you out there who you'll say, "Oh, well, you know, drugs are the stuff you get off the streets from criminals." A drug is a drug. It doesn't matter if it comes from a street criminal or if it comes from a hospital criminal. It's just one on the streets wearing, you know, regular clothes. The other one, he's just wearing a doctor's clothes.
Yeah.
One does not have I'll take this back. One has a degree by going to school. The other one has what you would call a street degree, a degree from the streets.
Yeah.
But they're the same thing. They be cutting the same drugs, you know, cutting them the same way. You know, they work in the pill mills. They both do the same thing.
Yeah, see, the pill mill ain't nothing but a trap house, man.
Exactly.
That's all the pill mills is.
You got the street version, and then you got the nice looking suit and tie version.
And guess what? I can give you another version. They call men in uniform. When you go and take over the poppy fields across the other side of the globe and produce the poppy that creates the opioids so you control the trade. The moment America invaded Afghanistan, America had an opioid addiction, an opioid crisis.
I was
the same day.
I was just gonna say the moment the British went to China in the 1700s.
Yeah.
So this is nothing new.
That's right.
So when at the beginning of the show, rewind it, when he said Rockefeller, it's nothing new.
That's right. And he wasn't the only one.
He wasn't. Plenty of them. And a lot of them are still alive today. They might be in their 70s or 80s, but they're still alive today. And they're still controlling the system. Nothing new.
I'm going to tell you like this right here. Now, this is, I don't know how old this clip we looking at, but it's still showing y'all the delusion, man. The delusion is this system's so broken down, people participating in it, taking advantage of it.
Supposedly, this has been happening in the last 2 years. So this is supposedly these newsreels are last 2 years.
Oh yeah.
but really gaining traction in 2025.
Okay.
So right in
Feds say was
in
part
Trump's
of a pill
second
mill
term.
operating in Houston, Texas.
I won't go with this one man on nothing, man.
No, I mean recently is what I'm saying.
And I ain't standing up for the orange guy.
Yeah, me neither. But I'm just saying this is recent.
According to the indictment, she, along with others, purchased 500,000 pills of oxycodone and hydrocodone and then sold them to drug dealers. Prosecutors say the drugs had a street value of $8 million.
We dismantled networks of corrupt pharmacies that existed solely to distribute drugs to addicts and dealers, feeding the addiction crisis that has devastated so many American communities.
Okay, now listen to what he's saying. They got the bad guys. That's what he's saying. They got some of the bad guys off the street. That's what he's saying. I gotta let it play back because I got something for you when I watch this.
Pharmacies that existed solely to distribute drugs.
Street value of $8 million.
We dismantled networks of corrupt pharmacies that existed solely to distribute drugs to addicts and dealers.
Now guess what? Those same addicts could have just went to the hospital and got it. You not helping the addicts. This did not save the addicts. I'm sorry, because guess what? You saying it's safer if I put it in your hand as somebody who is trained in delivering poison. It's the only difference. Go ahead.
And you know what? We were just talking on Sunday with some people, and one of them happened to give me a formula on how to make stuff at home. So this guy saying he dismantled, you didn't dismantle anything because you could go home and make this stuff.
And guess what? For you to be able to get your pharmacy license and open your own pharmacy and buy that much work at one time, that's going to turn into $8 million in one pill sale.
I'm just going to say this. Walter White was a pharmacist.
Well, I don't even know who that is.
The show Breaking Bad.
I never watched.
Oh, okay. Well, he was a meth lab guy. It's a true story. It's based on a true guy who got arrested at the end. But supposedly,
where you going?
So all I'm saying is, going back, they're all pharmacists. It's just you got the street version and you got the medical version.
Okay.
Feeding the addiction crisis that has devastated so many American communities.
Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita also announcing state charges against a dozen Indiana healthcare workers, 5 of them accused of committing crimes here in central Indiana, most of them working in hospitals or nursing homes. Rokita charging most of them with obtaining a controlled substance by fraud or deceit, as well as failure to make, keep, or furnish records, both of which are level 6 felonies. According to
Now, see, this ain't nothing but street gangs. This all this is. Level 6 felonies. This is just the cartel, man.
And they get a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, they slap on the wrist come out too. A fine that they done made so much money on top of, they can pay that fine and be still very well off.
Or if they do get jail time, it's like, oh, we'll give you like maybe 2 years.
Yeah, they send them to Club Med or something.
And then they just give them a little probation.
Yeah, we don't see cases of that.
Mm-hmm.
The charging documents, the various healthcare workers took drugs like oxycodone, hydrocodone, and diazepam from hospital pill dispensers, claiming they were for patients, but instead took them for themselves.
So they might get.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I done been in a real life situation, right? Watching over somebody that was under the doctor's care, so they was hospitalized, and one of their nurses was stealing pills, man. It was gone, cause you got addicts who touch this stuff and dispense it out, and they steal it. America is drug infested. It's in your food.
I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm glad this didn't happen. Although other things happened, but I'll just say this. There was a family member of mine who wanted to be an anesthesiologist, and my mother told him, she goes, yeah, it's a high-paying job, but you know what comes with it? And he didn't care.
Yeah.
He didn't care. And even I told him, he went in it with, I want to make the money, and then I want to go live in Saudi Arabia with all these sports cars. But he did not care what anesthesiologists do to themselves, because you just said doctors be stealing the drugs for themselves. Yeah. Anesthesiologists, they be shooting up.
Oh, yeah, it's the same thing. It's just another way to keep yourself from gaining consciousness, man.
That's right.
And, you know, I'm not saying people who having to take certain medications is not giving them some benefit. That ain't what I'm doing with this. So if you taking your meds, I'm saying it's other options for most stuff going on in the body.
There's multiple routes on a fork. The fork doesn't just have one prong on it. It has many.
That's right.
Get away with it for a while, but eventually it's that greed that gets them caught.
Former FBI agent turned private.
That's the same thing that happened to dealers on the street. A lot of people say, man, he wouldn't have got caught if he wouldn't have been so greedy for the money. It's the same thing, man.
That's sad that he had to say that. You're right.
Yeah, but see what this doing? This news clip going out to the public right there, wherever that's at. It's giving the public reassurance that the bad guys are on their way out. And guess what happened? When you start telling us the bad guys on their way out, you telling us they the only ones that's bad.
And guess what? If the bad guys were really out, okay, the hypothetical, if the bad guys were really out down at the California border, we wouldn't have the other bad guys coming in. If they're saying the bad guys are out, and I'm saying all of them, but nope, like he said, they're just saying the people who work at the hospitals, but they're not the only ones.
But I got to hold you on, man, because I'm going to tell you something. It ain't just the southern border that's bringing it. It's coming from the Asia. It's coming from a lot of places.
Well, I was just saying that because I'm from California, and so in my state,
I'm saying I didn't want to single out a certain subset as the only one.
I mean, because if I was to go to the 80s, a lot of people would say Miami, you know.
No, they'll say Italy. They'll say China. It'll be a lot of other places on the import. Everybody ain't coming on no damn ski boat, man.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All this coming in is orchestrated.
Like in the 60s, the United States military from Vietnam bringing it back on the helicopters.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. And that's why I was saying earlier, when you said that you named two different ways, the street hustler and the doctors, I said, no, I'm going to add number 3. And that's the men in uniform working for a specific part of the military, right?
Okay.
It's a lot going on. When 9/11 happened and when we went to Afghanistan, the same day we landed, America had an opioid problem. Now, why is that connected? Because Afghan grows some of the purest poppy and opium on the planet Earth. Okay? A lot of them, and I'm just alleging. So don't come looking for me, y'all.
Hey,
I'm just a legend, but it's a lot of that. And then the Taliban, I'm saying it backwards or not right on purpose, they burnt a lot of that down, and then they decided to build it back and bring it back, and they control the trade. So this trade wars, man.
You know, I'm gonna say this, audience. I agree with him 100% because I come from California, and what is our national flower? California poppies. And in California, there's been a bunch of farms out there doing their own poppy seed stuff. And actually, in one of my front yards, we used to have wild California poppies. And from childbirth, I was always told that, hey, this stuff is just like over in Afghanistan. You can create your own drug off of it. So he ain't wrong about that. That's actual true facts.
I'm almost never wrong, brother.
Yeah. So I can't argue that.
I'm just playing. I don't know everything. That's for real, y'all.
Right.
Investigator Doug Coons has investigated healthcare fraud. He says the increased regulations around opioids in the United States has made fraud very difficult to get away with.
This can't be sustained for any length of time, at least not at this scale, without somebody coming and knocking on your door and asking questions about it.
In Indiana,
I don't believe it because you still if you bought $8 million worth of hydrocodone, Oxycontin, whatever, and you bought it legally, and you arrested the person that bought it and resold it, who could have that much on weight? You know this country is sick if you can buy that much at a time for one pharmacy. This is crazy, man. Y'all better get...
You know, I'm going to say this. There's a lot of things that this country does not allow you to buy, okay? Like, try to go buy a minigun. The military can have it, but you can't. But you can go down anywhere on a storefront, and you can buy the worst drug on the planet, and they don't care. You know? They just don't care. You can go get over-the-counter stuff and overdose on that. They don't care. So it's weird. It's not weird to me, but maybe to some of you it might be weird. How is that? They allow you to buy this, but they don't allow you to buy that? Come on. Yeah. Like and they don't allow you to buy certain things because they say they're lethal, but yet the things you can buy are just as lethal as what they don't allow you to buy.
What I'm trying to tell y'all is protect your consciousness to make good decisions, and then you won't have to be in some predicaments that you're going to find yourself in life, especially when it comes to protecting your health. All right, so today's show, it is, we do jump around a little bit from time to time, but do things with caution. If you have to take medicine for the rest of your life, it don't work. That's common sense theory, right? That's a common sense theory. Because if it doesn't work without you, if it don't help you without you taking it, now you don't become slave to it. And your slave to it is going to keep the system alive and woke. So just learn the balance of Learn how to balance those two things. But go ahead, close it out.
Well, I'm going to close with this. Try to figure out how to get off medicines. One of the ways is food, but I'm going to say it like this. Be careful when you dive into food because there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of people telling you to eat certain things that just aren't healthy for you.
Yeah.
So be conscious, be aware. Mm-hmm. Try to get off your meds if you can, which I believe everyone can if they just try. Mm-hmm. They got to start somewhere, and it starts with the food, because if you eat certain foods that are beneficial to you, you won't need medicine. But if you eat other foods that aren't beneficial to you, you're going to keep going on your meds. Mm-hmm. So just be careful when you go.
Remember, it's a lot of medicine in the food too. It's a lot of prescribed chemicals in your food. So it ain't just eating food; it's eating wisely, of course.
That's what I'm saying.
A bigger thing is learning how to fast.
And also, it's also not just the food; it's also your environment. So it's a lot of things put together in one basket. So just be careful out there. If you're gonna try to get off your medications, just be aware. Stay safe.
Yeah, let's learn how to do more fasting. All right, the body will learn to help eliminate waste on its own, and you don't need a doctor's visit to learn how to fast. That's just a keynote for tonight. But like I do on every show for, what's your new name? No, the Aeon.
Aeon of Light.
The Aeon of Light, where we done had a few names. He's still my partner, and I'm Brother Harlem, the States of Delusion. We ain't asked y'all all night, but I'm going to ask you before we end this right here. Subscribe, like, share. The two famous words on this show for me is peace and power.
Cash App.